BeBe G, remember that name, grabbing the attention of music listeners worldwide, and haven't even released a song publicly yet, just underground at the moment. BeBe G has the complete package, the look, and the sound. Join Luca Brassy as he finds out how it all began and more.
Yeah, he cold, but he know I got that frozen. Yeah, he talk, but he show me no devotion. He think he's slick, he not really with emotions. Now he's sick, cause he know I got that potion. Yeah, he cold, but he know I got that frozen. Yeah, he talk, but he show me no devotion.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to In the Limelight Live with your host, the American Dream, Luca Brassy. With me right now, coming straight out of my own hometown of Albany, New York, okay? Fellow artists, gotta show the love with this new video coming down to ride pretty soon. What's up, Miss BeBe G? How are you tonight, my dear?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're loving it. So now the new video that's about to be coming out soon is called Down to Ride. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
That's the first
Awesome.
track I did. It is still in the works, though.
All right, very cool. Now you're currently living in Albany, New York. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you also born here?
I was born in Albany, yeah.
You were born in Albany. Okay, great. So, most of your, home base and stuff is probably around here, your fan base and all that stuff. But we know that you're expanding. Okay, you're getting more known. You're getting out there. And, as a guy who came up, in the hip hop game several years ago, I know the feeling when you start to really get out there and your stuff starts to get out, people start to recognize you and all that stuff. It's a great feeling. So I love having up and coming artists on this show and on my other podcasts and everything, because we get to get an inside look at the beginning stages of somebody's career. You know what I mean? So first thing that I'm going to ask you here tonight, okay, is who is BeBe G? Tell the people.
BeBe G. So when I was thinking about what artist name, I liked BeBe G. BeBe G was fun, but I was like, nah, there's too many babies out here. So I was like, wait, baby in Italian, that works because it sounds like ill baby. And I was also thinking about BeBe G, but it just worked out. So il bebe is baby in Italian.
Got you. Okay. Now, as an artist, how would you categorize yourself? I mean, we know you do hip hop / rap, but like, as far as your artistry and everything, the way you write, like where would you classify yourself? Would you call yourself, like mafioso, more reggae, more straight up, just like club type hip hop, street? Like, where would you put yourself in that game?
That's such a hard question because I can't categorize myself. I'm like, I don't have any limitations either. So if I wasn't in a genre yet, I will be in that genre in like 2 years from now. So I've done like rap, R&B, pop, punk, like more to come for sure. I don't like limiting myself either. So I am open to like reggaeton, anything, country, you name it.
Very cool. Now, you said that the video's coming out pretty soon and everything. Have you, done any collaborations with any other artists or anything like that? Anyone who's asked you to be on their record or anything?
I've played around, but like haven't really took any collaboration seriously yet.
Nothing yet. Okay. Yeah. Well, we got plenty of artists, you know what I mean? And people are always looking for female vocals and things like that. So it's a good connection to have because there's always people looking to collaborate with different types of people, myself included. So there's like 2 or 3 collaborations that I'm in the mix with right now. One of my boys, Ace Jones, hopefully we're going to have him on the show. I'm doing something with him, but it's always good to really try to get with other artists and work with them because let me tell you, it can expand your horizon. You know what I'm saying? So it can open up other doors for you, so always keep that in mind and everything. Now, as far as your music and stuff, how long has music really been like a really big part of your life the way it is now?
Even before I was making music, it's always been a huge part of my life. Like if I get in moods, music is the first thing to pull me out of that mood, So yeah, I love music. And as I've started writing music or freestyle recording, the more like I learn myself, which is cooler. Like I've been learning myself throughout these 4 years that I've been making music, and it's awesome.
Got you. Okay, now as far as I just want to rewind and go back to the collaboration thing for a second, okay? And this can be anybody. It can be local, it can be national, international, world, doesn't matter. If there was one person that you could collaborate with right now, who would you pick? In the game, not in the game, a friend, family, somebody famous, doesn't matter. Who would you pick?
Who would I pick?
I know this is a tough one.
That's so tough. Because even when people ask me, like, who's your favorite artist, I can't answer that. There's so many. Respectfully, Polo G. Polo G.
Okay. Respect. Now, why? Now, just curious, why him?
Because I like enlightenment rap, and he has a lot of tracks that can touch you in that way.
Okay. All right. Well said. I agreed.
Like,
Now,
sorry, one track called "Don't Believe the Hype." That one spoke to me heavy.
Okay, very nice. Now, what kind of music do you mostly listen to? Because as a hip hop artist, I don't listen to just hip hop. I listen to a lot of different stuff. So, what kind of music do you enjoy? Like, not so much to study it, but just to listen to for actual enjoyment. Like, what genre do you normally go for?
Depends on my mood. Like, if I'm just smoking, chilling, I will listen to Polo G, Juice WRLD. But if I'm like an artsy, chill, creative mood, I don't know if you've heard of Umi before. Yeah, Umi. I've been really fucking with her lately.
Okay. All right. Now, do you enjoy, going to hip hop shows and local concerts and stuff like that? Is that something you like to do?
Yeah, most definitely.
All right. Very good. Now, do you come from any kind of musical background? Anybody else in your family that does music or anything like that?
I mean, growing up at the restaurant, I don't know if you've heard of my family's restaurant, Bill Valenti, but I grew up around like not like a super creative family, but like they were always around like music venues and stuff. So like once a week there would be a band to come and play at my dad's restaurant. So that's where he comes from. But nah, this was random. Like I just was like, oh, I make music, and everyone's like, what? We didn't teach you that.
Awesome. Very nice. Okay, so we got a good little warm up in. Folks, we are going to cut to a quick commercial break, but do not go away because when we come back, we'll be hearing more from BeBe G. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You in tune to the Focuz TV 1 network in the Limelight Live.
What's up, everybody? It is the American Dream, Luca Brassy. Do you have a branding issue? Don't miss out, folks. Get your advertisement or commercial played on one of our epic shows in the Limelight Live every Wednesday night, hosted by yours truly, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For more information, contact Teflon Taylor at info@focus.media.com.
I'm stuck in my ways, yeah, that's for sure. You got it.
BeBe G, remember that name grabbing the attention of music listeners worldwide and haven't even released a song publicly yet, just underground at the moment. BeBe G has the complete package, the look, and a sound. Join Luca Brassy as he finds out how it all began and more.
Yeah, he cold, but he know I got that frozen. Yeah, he talk, but he show me no devotion. He think he's slick, he not really with emotions. Now he's sick, cause he know I got that potion. Yeah, he cold, but he know I got that frozen. Yeah, he talk, but he show me no devotion.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back in the Limelight Live. With me now, Luca Brassy is BeBe G. So before we left, we got some good questions in and everything, okay? And I got to tell you, people, on the Focuz TV1 network, we stay focused. That's what we do. So speaking of focusing, okay, I want to focus just for a second, okay, on old school hip hop, okay? Now, as somebody who, I went back, I started getting into writing when I was about 18 years old. And when I started really getting into music, I went back and I really listened and studied a lot of the old school hip hop artists, which is how I came to be absolutely in love with certain artists like Rakim, Big Pun, Nas, and all these old school guys. So, you're newer to the game and everything as far as getting in there. So do you listen to any of the old school stuff? Just curious.
Old school? I gotta be in the mood for it. I will play boom bap beats all the time though.
Okay.
Like anytime I'm having like a blank or like a writer's block, I'll click a boom bap beat, but that's like the ultimate reset for my mind sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I got you. All right, now, very cool. Now, if you could you describe to us, okay, the word music? When you hear the word music, what does that mean to you exactly?
Okay, so a combination of art and poetry and soul. Yeah.
Okay. Very well said. Very well said. Now, and now this is a fun question. I got to ask you this. You might not remember, but do you remember what the first rap or hip hop song was that you actually listened to?
Oh, I'm doing my homework. You didn't tell me I needed to study for this. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm sorry. You tell me.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. I remember like back in the day, I remember one of the first hip hop songs I can really remember listening to was actually Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice way back in the day. And I tell people this, before Ice and before MC Hammer, hip hop really did have a hard time getting into the mainstream. You had your NWAs, you had your Ice-Ts and all those guys, but it really started to become mainstream after Ice and MC Hammer. And I've told people that, I've talked to people try to argue it, but I'm like, it's true. I was like, hip hop had a very hard time getting on the radio, So what do you think about, from that time, the progression of like where it is now from where it was? Do you think with all the current technology, it's a good thing, or do you think what do you think about it?
Yeah, I don't think it progressed. In a lot of ways, it didn't progress. I think technology-wise, yeah, but like I feel like it also takes away from like the talent, just being able to like, oh, I could put auto-tuning on this and this will sound valid. But I feel like back then it was more of a challenge. It was more raw talent, and I miss it.
They say that the true test of talent in an artist is live performance, because there's so many tricks and things you can do in the studio, So when can people expect to see you like on stage, like performing some of your stuff?
So a lot of people don't know this, but I have performed in Miami one time,
Okay.
one track. But for my hometown, I feel like the standards are higher. I need to have all my tracks ready to go before they're ready to see it. So
Hmm.
2023, I can't give you a date yet, but I'm gonna drop a
Okay.
date soon.
Okay. And just a question here. If you hadn't started doing music and writing and getting into the process and getting into the studio, where do you think you would be now?
Probably still in school, changing my
Yeah.
major a million
Okay.
times, doing something
Yeah.
I don't want to do.
Okay. Well, I always tell people, man, you got to follow your passion. You got to follow your
Yeah.
heart. And if you don't, try to achieve your goals, somebody will hire you to achieve their goals for them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in a position now, luckily, consider myself very blessed. I'm working for myself. I'm doing my own thing. I'm hosting a couple of shows and all that, and I love what I do. So respect to you for admitting that you would probably be doing something that you wouldn't want to be doing, because a lot of people have a hard time saying stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
and it's great. Everybody has a star. All they got to do is find it, just like X said back in the day.
That's a fact.
And is there anything that you really hope to accomplish with the music? Like where do you see yourself going? What are you trying to accomplish with it?
So I really do. I hate this about myself, but I love it about myself at the same time. I have high standards for my music videos. Like for my EP, one EP, I really see like my music videos like Disney movie quality. So that's why it's a big delay too. So
Mhm.
um yeah, I really see like a lot of different avenues for music videos. So I really like visuals. So some tracks I can drop without a visual, that's fine. But a lot of my tracks are gonna be dropped with a visual, so you get the full effect.
Gosh, it's kind of crazy. When I first started coming up in the game and doing music and everything and writing, the visuals weren't really as important. It was more about the music. Now, the visuals have become so important that it's almost like if you have a single, it's almost frowned upon if you don't have a visual to go with it. You know,
Yeah.
so, so it's kind of crazy, like how like music, which is for the ear mostly,
Mhm.
has transcended into something like totally different, where now people expect you to have that visual. So
I like being able to illustrate the story.
mhm. Yeah, no, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, it's so
Mhm.
important because some people, they need to see it.
Yeah.
I'm a visual learner. You know what I mean? I do much better listening and learning than I do reading and learning. So I think it's and seeing. I want to see it. I want to see the visual, and it helps a lot. So anyway, when we come back, folks, okay, we're going to be wrapping things up here with BeBe G. Okay, it has been great speaking with her. We have a few more questions coming up, folks. Do not go away, because we'll be right back after this.
You're in tune to the Focuz TV One Network. Focuz, the magazine. The magazine. Focuz 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 the magazine.
Hey kids, are you ready for 2020 to 2023 school year? Just remember, education is important. with the host Chins, that's me, as we talk about what kids like to talk about. Join me every Saturday on the Focuz TV One Network, sponsored by Focuz Media, focusing on the youth.
This is Dr. Lee, and you're in tune with the Focuz TV One Network.
I'm stuck in my ways, yeah, that's for sure. You ride it.
Purpose, the talk show with purpose on the Focuz TV One Network, with your host Kimberly Trapani, every Saturday at 4 Eastern Standard Time. Coming up October 22nd, 2022. First episode, join Kimberly Trapani as she interviews the one and only Always, musical artist and more. Stay tuned.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to In the Limelight Live with your host, Luca Brassy. With me now, BeBe G. Again, don't forget, folks, this is In the Limelight Live. We are doing it. We are doing it. So, dear, okay, before we wrap things up here in a couple of minutes, we have a few more questions for you, okay? One of those questions being, okay, and this is a fun question. I like when people ask me questions like this. But what is your most memorable thing or event that happened in the studio or at a live show or anything involved with your musical career? What's the most memorable thing you got?
All right, so my most memorable time was actually alone. I freestyled the first time, right? And I freestyled, but I admitted things to myself that I didn't know before. So that was pretty crazy. That was pretty crazy.
My gosh. So sometimes maybe like self-talk really does help. You know, I wrote a book recently, did really well on Amazon and everything, but it was called 20 Reasons and 20 Ways to Diminish Self-Doubt. And when I sat down to write the book, I wanted to be something that everybody could pick up and relate to in some way. But same thing, like as I was writing the book, like I realized a lot of things like about myself, like that I had addressed but hadn't fully like really comprehended, you know. And when I sat down to write, a lot of the same thing happened, you know. So it's kind of interesting, like that subconsciously you like know these things, and then you're like writing or you're spitting, and it comes out, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. You're like, then it makes you think, like it really makes you question like certain things, you know. So now, do you like doing recording, freestyling? Like, what do you like the best as far as like spitting rhymes? Do you like being in the studio or just rhyming on the porch, or what?
I like freestyling the best, to be honest. So I'd rather like, even if I'm not freestyling the whole track, like I'll go in and do punch-ins. That's my wave now.
Okay. All right. Very good. I remember, I'll never forget the first time I ever went to the studio. And I remember I wasn't even planning on recording that day. And I got there, and my producer, Jay Green, shout outs to you, Jay Green, Money Talks, my boy. But first time I ever went in there, we were both young. He was like 21 or 22, and I was 19. And I remember I got there, and he looks at me, he's like, step in the booth. And I'm like, oh, all right. And I thought I was just checking it out. So I go in, he's like, put the headset on, man. We're going to rhyme something. And I was like totally unprepared. But I actually did it, and I went with it, and then I was back the next week. And then I was back the next week, and then back the next week. And it's like I listened to my old records, and I'm like, how the hell did he let me come back? Like after recording this, you know, because it's like I was so far behind the times back then. But you know, so now, do you work specifically with one engineer, or do you have like a different people that you work with?
I've been all over the place. I've been to a few in Albany, a few in the city, a few in Miami. So I go everywhere. But KO's been an OG since the jump. So I come here.
Very good. Cool. And now, how many times have you been in the studio to record, approximately?
How many times? A few for each track. So I'd say about 20.
20? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And now out of the records that you've done and have been able to, you know, get accomplished and produced and mixed and mastered and all that, the records that you've finished, is there one that you like the best? You got a favorite out of what you've done so far?
Honestly, no. They're all my favorite.
They're all your favorite? All right. And now, when can people expect to see this video, Down to Ride? When is that going to be released?
2023.
2023? Okay. And where are people going to be able to find it?
Everywhere. So I'm going to put it on all platforms, YouTube, everywhere.
Very good. Very good. All right. And do you have any shout outs that you would like to give? Anybody in particular you'd like to know you're thinking about them? Anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shout out to my pops, because, you know, he set this whole thing up. That's my manager too. He do a lot for me.
All right. Very good. All right. And where can people find your music? Where can people find you if they'd like to contact you, get something?
For now, find me on Instagram. Yeah, stay patient. It's in the works. Stay loyal. Stay patient.
All right. And now, do you have anybody that you? There was one last question I have for you here. Do you have anybody, any, you know, family, friends, anything like that travel with you, like when you go to the studio, when you go like out to perform or anything like that? Do you have any kind of entourage, anybody that goes with you?
Most of the time, no, because I can't focus. I've been in the studio multiple times with like other people with me, but I have ADHD. I can't focus on all that. So usually it's
just very good, very good. And one last thing I'd like you to do here for me, honey, is what kind of words of advice would you be able to shout out to people that might be watching the show right now, up and coming artists that maybe have a dream, have a goal, have a vision? What can you tell those people?
So number one, believe in yourself, but always speak your truth. Always speak your truth. That's important. I learned that the hard way. So
yeah. Me too. I think a lot of people learn that lesson the hard way. So, all right, very good, dear. All right. So now, is there anything else before we go off here, hon? Is there anything else that you would like to add? Anything that you'd like to, you know, comment on? Anything at all?
It was a vibe for sure. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. And Teflon Taylor, my boy in the control room. Thank you so much, my dude. Okay. It's been great. Okay. We will see you all next week. BeBe G, thank you so much for being with us, honey. Good luck on your endeavors. Make sure you stay in touch. Make sure you get us your new records. You hear?
For sure.
All right, everybody. Peace and pow.
BeBe G, remember that name grabbing the attention of music listeners worldwide and haven't even released a song publicly yet, just underground at the moment. BeBe G has the complete package, the look, and the sound. Join Luca Brassy as he finds out how it all began and more.
Yeah, he cold, but he know I got that frozen. Yeah, he talk, but he show me no devotion. He think he's slick, he not really with emotions. Now he's sick, cause he know I got that potion. Yeah, he cold, but he know I got that frozen. Yeah, he talk, but but he show me no devotion.